Well, good afternoon. I'm Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and today I'm really excited to share with you a project that lives out our faith and values, reduces the carbon footprint of a critical industry, prepares us for what I believe is the most concerning, already baked in impact of climate change, all while meeting the administration's goal of investing in coal communities and creating good jobs. One of the most basic tenets in every faith and one of the most basic values that we should have as public servants is to make sure everybody gets enough to eat. That's every Kentucky child, every American child, and ultimately every child across the world. But we know what a challenge this is. Not even in considering climate change, just with the world's growing population by 2050, we've got to increase our yield by 70% just to feed the number of mouths that are going to exist at that time. That means that we need research, we need innovation, and we need breakthroughs. The second piece about this project is that it is going to help promote farming with a significantly reduced carbon footprint in ways that can grow significantly more while impacting the environment significantly less. The third piece is, to me, the most concerning, what I believe is baked in impact that we are going to see from climate change is famine. And if we don't push hard very quickly on how we can be more resilient, how we can increase that yield faster, things like water drying up in California and ultimately across the world are going to have major impacts, and we have to act now. And we can do all this in the area of Kentucky most impacted by the downturn of the coal economy, creating incredible jobs. Our project is the Kentucky Agritech Hub, and it's a way we lift up all of our Kentucky families, where we're not just the workers and the laborers in growing the amount of food that's going to be needed for tomorrow, but we are also the thinkers, where we're inventing that next innovation in how we grow, or that next resilient seed that can ultimately grow with less water, or to even survive that flooding or major disaster event that we are seeing more and more frequently. In Kentucky, agriculture is our tradition. It's part of our heritage. It's already a $5.5 billion industry just throughout Kentucky. But we recognize that we can't rest on our history, that the next generation of farming is already here. Kentuckians are ready to rise to that challenge, and this hub will help us do that. It's projected by our partners in the Netherlands to create over 30,000 jobs in the United States and become a $10 billion industry in the United States. So we're working diligently in Eastern Kentucky with the University of Kentucky, virtually every one of our universities coming together in partnership on this one major project that we know is critical for the people of Earth, is helpful for the planet Earth, and is going to create significant number of jobs where we haven't seen them enough. And this is already happening in Kentucky. James, if you'll put up the slide, we are already becoming what I believe is the center for agriculture technology. Some call it ag tech, I call it agritech, in the country. It's everything from, on the site, we're looking at this R&D facility where we have the largest greenhouse in North America, where AppHarvest is growing tomatoes, to 80 acres that is now moved in a similar indoor grow operation into northern Kentucky, to black fly larvae creating energy in Maysville, to Kentucky Fresh Harvest, to Appalachia growing apples on top of abandoned coal mines because the soil, it turns out to be really good for them, to black soil, ensuring that we have equity and diversity in the agri-tech industry. But these are all operations that, while they all have an aspect of R&D and thought in them, that they are all operations that are working to grow and to ultimately supply that next generation of agriculture and food. What the nation and what this industry and what this area needs is ultimately all of our minds coming together in one major center to ensure we're ready to meet that challenge that, again, is going to address our most basic need, and that's enough food to feed the world. The investments that we've seen in Kentucky total over $440 million just last year, and we are growing. We're going to have 3 new indoor growing operations just through app harvest in this next year, and we continue to have calls about expansions here in the Commonwealth. The thing that we can offer that so many others don't is water and rainfall. Now, we flood 52 weeks a year in Kentucky, and that used to be a huge negative. Now it has the opportunity to be a positive, to ensure that we can pick up where areas that aren't going to have as much water leave off. But without the innovation piece, there's no way we're going to meet those needs both to 2050 and beyond. What you see in the industry is also a significant reduction in their carbon footprint on how they grow. You see 0 pesticides. You see tomatoes getting to the East Coast from Kentucky and not shipped days from Mexico. You see a stronger supply chain with what we have seen in the world, what's happened with everything from PPE to microchips. We've got to be able to grow enough to feed our folks for any type of international disruption. You see what's happening with wheat, with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This meets so many of our needs as a country, but ultimately as a world. And for us here in Kentucky, to be a part of that thought leadership moving forward is critically important. We brought the partners to bear. It is one unified effort. We're ready to bring in the entire region, the entire country, and the entire world. And it is a special opportunity to, again, address climate change, create jobs in the exact area the administration is aimed at.